Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, let us begin one more chapter, that is Plant Kingdom. Topics to be covered in this lesson are systems of classification, algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, and alternation of generation. So in this chapter, we are going to deal with different kinds of plants. So in our previous chapter, we have seen all organisms are classified under 5 different kingdom system. So there we have already discussed regarding the kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista and kingdom Mycota, and 2 more kingdom we were not discussed. So here now we are going to study regarding one of the kingdom of 5 kingdom system of classification, that is kingdom Plantae. So again this is a huge kingdom, because we have varieties of plants here to study. They are very diverse in their appearance, in their habitat and in their mode of reproduction. So it is again very interesting to study regarding the plants. So you can see here different kinds of plants we can notice. So some are terrestrial plants, terrestrial in their habitat, some are aquatic, some are xeric, and in the terrestrial plants again we have long trees, shrubs, and some are herbs. So like this different kinds, different varieties we have among the plants, and some they bear flower during the time of reproduction, and some they form only seeds for reproduction. So like this plants are very diverse in their nature. So it is very interesting to study about the plants here. And if you see the diversity of plants, it is again important to classify them, because without classification it is difficult to understand, it is difficult to study about the plants. So when we have a diversity, it is important to classify them to understand about the organism in a better way. So in this chapter we are going to study about the plant and how they are classified, what are the systems are used for the classification. So all these things we are going to study in this lesson. Is characteristics of plants. So some of the common characteristic feature we can see in plants belong to this kingdom. So because of this common characteristic feature, all the plants are placed under the kingdom Plantae. So what are those common characteristic feature? So they are eukaryotic organisms and they contain chlorophyll pigment. So eukaryotic organisms, we know their body is made out of eukaryotic cell, and that cell consists of one of the pigment. So because of this pigment, plants are able to prepare their own food material. So that we are calling plants as autotrophic organisms. Understood? So autotrophic organisms are able to synthesize their own food material. They are not depends on any other organism for their survival. So because of the chlorophyll pigment, they can prepare their own food material, so that the plants are autotrophic in their mode of nutrition. So we have few exception cases here. So some of the plants are partially heterotrophic. That means they eat insect to fulfill some of the requirements. So the best example is bladderwort and Venus fly. So these two are the insectivorous plant. So they consist of chlorophyll pigment. Then also for fulfilling their nitrogen required nitrogen, they depends on insect. So they catch insect and they digest it to fulfill the requirement of nitrogen. So that some of the plants are partially heterotrophic, not fully heterotrophic, partially heterotrophic. And also we have example of parasitic plant. That means some of the plants they completely depends on other plant for survival. So the example of that plant is Cuscuta. So Cuscuta is a plant example for parasitics. Parasitics we know they completely depends on other organism for survival. So Cuscuta is a plant. It depends on another plant for survival. It absorbs water, mineral from the other plant to live in its habitat. So that it is an example of parasitic plant. So these are few exception cases in the plant kingdom. Then one more general characteristic is the cell wall is made up of cellulose. So this is very important to understand here, because in the earlier classification, so because of the cell wall presence, fungi as well as cyanobacteria were placed under the kingdom Plantae. So later, when they divided the cyanobacteria and fungi from the Plantae kingdom, so they placed the organisms having the cell wall with cellulose content in the kingdom Plantae. So that all plants belong to this kingdom consist of cell wall. That cell wall is made up of what? Cellulose. Understood? Then there are number of divisions are there in the kingdom, Plantae kingdom. So one of the division is algae and another one is bryophytes, then pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So these are the different divisions are done in the Plantae kingdom based on certain characteristic features. Then in the life cycle of plant, it exhibit two distinct phases. So all the plants from algae to till angiosperm, whatever the plants we are studying in this kingdom, all the plants they exhibit two distinct phases in their life cycle. So one of the phase is diploid sporophytic phase. Clear? So diploid is nothing but di means two, ploidy means chromosome. So two sets of chromosomes can be seen in the plant. So that phase is called as sporophytic phase. So during this phase, the plants are able to produce spores. Clear? So in which phase the plants are able to produce the spores, that phase is called as diploid sporophytic phase. And the another phase in the life cycle is haploid gametophytic phase. So in the haploid gametophytic phase, the plants are able to produce gametes. Clear? So gametes are haploid in their nature. That means they consist of only one set of chromosomes. Clear, right? So these two phases are commonly seen in all plants belong to this category. So this is very important. So you will study about this in detail in the next concept of this lesson. But now you have to understand all the plants in their life cycle, they come across with two important phases. One is diploid sporophytic phase and another one is haploid gametophytic phase. So spore producing phase is called as sporophytic phase. Gamete producing phase is called as gametophytic phase. So because of this, plants exhibit alternation of generation. That means the duration of these two phases not same in all the plant groups. So some of the plants they show very long sporophytic phase and short gametophytic phase, and some plants they show long gametophytic phase and short sporophytic phase. So like this, these two phases are change in their length in different group of plants. So that is why the plants are showing alternation of generation. Clear? So about this also you will study in the further concept of this lesson. So these are the few general characteristics what we can see in the plants belong to the kingdom Plantae. Clear, right? So these general characters are common. They are seen in all the plants. Yes, before start our study with the divisions of plant, first let us understand how the classification of plants done and how different classification systems evolved with time and how better system of classification come up with the passage of time. So these things first we should understand. So why I am stressing these things here, because classification of plants are not done in one shot because such a huge diversity we have among the plants. It is difficult to do the classification in one shot. So, uh, there are many changes has done in the classification of plants over a period of time. There are many people, they put their effort to classify the plants, and they introduce their own innovative ideas, own innovative methods for the classification. So, classification has changed over a period of time. So, when our understanding of the plant changed, according to that, the system of classification also get changed. So it is very interesting to know what are the systems are come up to classify the plants into different category. So now let us have a look into the systems of classification. So one of the system of classification introduced is artificial system of classification, and one more is natural system of classification and phylogenetic system of classification. So in this lesson, now we are going to study about these three systems of classification introduced by different scientists. So let us have a look into each of these systems in detail. This one of the system of classification is artificial system of classification. So this system introduced by one of the scientists called as Linnaeus. Then how he classified the plant? So he considered some of the morphological characters among the plants for classification. So morphological characters are nothing but external characters of the plant, like stem, leaf, flowers, color of the petal, and number of stamens, number of gynoecium. Like this, only external characters are considered by Linnaeus to classify the plants. So this helped him to classify some of the closely related plants, because the closely related plants, they appear similar in their external appearance. Say for example, you take hibiscus plant. So in the hibiscus plant we have different varieties. Some they bear red flower, some they bear yellow flower, some they bear red pink flower. So even though there is a change in the color of flower, they all appear similar. So it helped him to classify some of the closely related plant. But there were many limitations observed in his system of classification. So let us have a look into the limitation. So because he considered only morphological appearance, it separated most of the closely related species. Clear? Because some of the closely related species, they appear different. That means the external features may not be same, but they are belong to the same species. So because he considered only gross external appearance, external characters for classification, it separated some of the closely related species. And one more limitation observed is he gave equal weightage to vegetative and reproductive characters. So, what do you mean by vegetative characters? So, vegetative character is nothing but somatic character of the plant. So, vegetative parts are nothing but leaves, stem, roots. So, all these part of the plants are called as vegetative parts. Clear? So let us have a look into the diagram. So these are the vegetative parts of plant. So when we are describing the character of vegetative part, that is called as vegetative characteristics. Then sexual characteristics. So if you take example of flowering plants, so their flower is meant for reproduction. So it forms fruits and seeds. So when you are explaining the floral character, that is called as a sexual characteristics. And some of the plants, they are not able to bear flowers. A best example is pinus, which grow in the hilly areas. So their cones are the reproductive structures. So whatever may be the parts, so which helps in the reproduction, that means which helps in the formation of seed, that is called as a sexual part, that means a sexual part of the plant. So these parts, sexual characteristics and vegetative characters, are given equal weightage by Linnaeus. So this was not fair because the vegetative characters often changes by change in the external environmental condition. So it will get changes according to the season. So you might have seen in some in the plants, in some of the seasons they lost their leaves, and the color of the leaf will get changes. So vegetative characters are not permanent in the plant, it will get changes according to the season. But sexual characters are not like that. So uh, the fruits or the seeds, whatever may be the characters we are going to observe in the plant, that is remains same even though there is a change in the environmental condition. So the sexual characters are permanent, they are not going to change according to the season. So that we should give more importance to sexual characters than vegetative character. So this was the drawback of the artificial system of classification. So because of this, most of the closely related species were separated. Understood? So, artificial system of classification was not a great success because of this limitation. But at least it showed us the way of classification, and it was the first system of classification introduced, and it introduced how to classify the plant. That means some ideas regarding the classification is at least given by artificial system. Is the one more system of classification come up is natural system of classification. So this system not only considered external characters among the plant, it also considered internal characters as well. So in the artificial system, we have seen only external features considered to be a criteria, but here together with the external, internal characters are considered as well. So internal characters in the sense the kind of tissue and the arrangement of tissue and the development of embryo. So these are the few internal characters given equal importance together with the external character. So this is a somewhat better method of classification compared to the artificial classification, because here more characters are considered at a time to classify the plants. Then one more thing can be seen in this system is classification is based on the natural affinities among organisms. So natural affinities in the sense it establishes relationship among the different groups of organisms. Say for example, you take two plants, different groups of plants. So even though they are different in the formation of in the kind of leaves and in the kind of the fruit formation, they are similar in some of the features like number of androecium and number of gynoecium. So based on few related characteristic features, similar characteristic feature, they started grouping the plant, so that they started establishing relationship between the group of plants. So this is what called as a natural affinity. So this classification started establishing the relationship between the group of organisms. You can also take the one more example for this natural affinity. So you take the example of tiger and cat. So tiger and cat, they are different animals. So even though they are different animals, their external features and some of the internal characters are same. So they we can tell them some of the external characters are similar in tiger and cat, but you can't compare the external character of cat and tiger with the dog. So it is totally different in the external feature. So like this, so based on some of the character, they started establishing the relationship from one group of organisms with the another group of organism. So this is what the thing done in the natural system of classification. So this system was introduced by Bentham and Hooker. So Bentham and Hooker were the scientists introduced natural system of classification. Yes, now the one more system of classification that has come up over a period of time is phylogenetic classification system. So this system of classification uh, is done based on the evolutionary relationship between various organisms. So according to this, the group of organism, each group of organisms, they are interlinked with one another, and they are having their common ancestor. That means you take human being as an example. We humans are arised from the common ancestor. They are apes. So we are arised from apes. So that is what tell the evolution relationship. So how the changes takes place, according to what the changes takes place, which organisms are formed first, and how the new species were arised. So all these things are started considering among the plants for classification. So that the phylogenetic system of classification tells that the plants or the animals belong to the same taxa, they have a common ancestor. So you can easily tell that we human beings are having the common ancestor, that is apes. So like that, the plants belong to the plantae kingdom, they are all having the common ancestor. So like this, they started relating one taxa, one group of plants, organisms with the another group of organism. So when they are interlinking, they interlinked in a such a way that they are all interconnected with the common ancestors. So in this way, all plants are placed under the kingdom Plantae, all animals are placed under the kingdom Animalia. So there also, when classifying, we classified from simple to complex. So here we have heard that the plant kingdom consists of different divisions. So the first division is algae. So algae is nothing but a primitive group of plant. So next to that, bryophytes. So bryophytes are little advanced group of plant compared to the algae. So like that, that is what we are calling as evolution. That means gradual changes, what is happened on the earth is called as a evolution. So the classification of plants started to done according to the evolution by the phylogenetic system of classification. So this was introduced by one of the scientists called as Engler and Frankel. So for the phylogenetic system of classification, fossil evidences were helped a lot. That means based on the fossil record, they classified the plants, and the few more branches of taxonomy help the phylogenetic system of classification, because alone by the fossil record, the classification is not get a complete picture. So there are few more taxonomic field helped the phylogenetic system of classification. So one of the branch is cytotaxonomy, and another one is chemotaxonomy, and another one is numerical taxonomy. So let us see uh, what is mean by cytotaxonomy, chemotaxonomy, and numerical taxonomy, how they helped the classification. And yes, we have seen together with the fossil evidences, few other disciplinary field of taxonomy helped the phylogenetic system of classification. So among that, one field is numerical taxonomy. So numerical is nothing but number. Taxonomy is a branch of biology helps in classification. So in the numerical taxonomy, each and every character of plant assigned with number. Say for example, so we have one chili plant with us. So we will assign number to each and every character. That means the stem is assigned with one number, and leaf character is assigned with one number. Then the floral parts like petal, sepal, stamens, and gynoecium. So each and every part with the character is assigned with number. Clear? And that information is fed into the computer computer so that whenever we need to classify new plant, that fed information can be used. That means we can take the help of already existing information what we have with us. So here you see the definition. So the number and codes are assigned to all the characters, and data are then processed so that they will give number to each and every character of the plant, and the data is processed, that means it is fed into the computer. So when we are doing like this, more characters are considered in the plant, and all characters are given equal importance. There is no weightage, more weightage to the vegetative character, there is no less weightage to the sexual characters. So all characters are given more importance, and equal importance is given to each and every character. And there is no chance of missing anyone here, because each data, each character is fed here into the computer, so that whenever we need to classify new plant, the already existing one we can use. Suppose we have got one new plant, that is the brinjal plant you consider. So you want to classify that, you want to place that plant in a particular category. So what you will do is, you started listing the characteristic feature. Clear? And you just compare the brinjal characteristic feature with the already existing one. That means we have already classified the chili plant. So some of this similarity we could make out, because the number of stamens in the brinjal plant is similar with the number of stamens in the chili plant, and the gynoecium is also similar in these two plants. So based on these similarities, they started categorizing the plants here. So when we observe more similarities among the two group of organisms, they try to place them in one category. If they identify more dissimilarity, they try to group in a separate category. Clear? So this is what the numerical taxonomy. So by this way, we can classify the organisms under different category. Then one more disciplinary field is cytotaxonomy. So cytotaxonomy tells about something related to cytoplasm. So cyto is nothing but it is a cytoplasmic region. So cytoplasmic region, where we can see it is there in the cell, right? So in the cytoplasmic region, one of the structure is considered for classification. So that is nothing but chromosome. So cytotaxonomy deals with the character of chromosome. So here what they will consider in the chromosome. So chromosome number, structure and behavior is considered in the cytotaxonomy, because chromosome is very essential part of the cell. It will carry hereditary information from one generation to another generation, and it also helps in cell division. So they consider the number of chromosome as a criteria for classification, because not all organisms are having same number of chromosome. So the number of chromosome in our body is 46, and the number of chromosome in some other organism is different compared to us. Not same chromosome is sharing in all different group of animal. So the chromosome number is considered as a criteria for classification, and also they will take the structure of chromosome for classification as well as behavior of chromosomes. So when we are concentrating on the structure, number as behavior of the chromosome, that branch of taxonomy is called as cytotaxonomy. So that here what we are considering is the internal character. That means not only the cytoplasmic distinct characteristic feature, we are also considering one of the component present in the cytoplasm, one of the structure present in the cytoplasm, that is chromosome. So that branch is nothing but cytotaxonomy. So you have to remember, the cytotaxonomy is one of the disciplinary branch. It deals with the chromosome structure, chromosome number and chromosome behavior. So by considering these characters, plants are also classified under number of different groups. Then one more taxonomic field is chemotaxonomy. So chemo is nothing but what? Chemicals. So taxonomy, we know it is a branch of biology, helps in classification of organisms. So here for classification, the chemical component in the living organism, that means in the organism, is considered, because we living organisms made out of different types of chemicals. So what type of chemicals I'm talking about here? So our body made out of different types of chemicals, biomolecules like proteins and carbohydrates, amino acids, and also we talk about different kinds of chemicals. They helps in the digestion. So, like this, when we see the plants, they also secrete some kind of chemical. So, chemical secreted in one plant is not same with the another plant. If the plants are belonging to the same group, they are belonging to the same species, their chemical composition will be same. So, you take a sandalwood plant. So, sandalwood plant secrete chemical that will release some kind of aroma. So, that kind of chemical you could not see in any other plants. Like that, you take eucalyptus plant. So eucalyptus plant also secretes some kind of chemical, that means the secondary metabolite will be secreted there, so that chemical cannot be seen in other group of plant. Like that, each plants are different in their chemical component, that means chemical secreted by them. So based on the chemical present in the plant, classification can be done. Understood, right? So have a look into the definition. Chemical constituents are considered in plants to resolve confusion in classification. That means mainly they will concentrate on what kind of chemicals are secreted in plant, what kind of chemical constituents are there in the plant. So these things are actually important criteria considered here for the classification. So these are the three other disciplinary taxonomical field used and for the classification of plants. So they helped the phylogenetic system of classification. Uh, so as I said, for phylogenetic system of classification, earlier they considered fossil evidences. So together with the fossil evidences, these new disciplinary fields are also used for the classification, so that it helped the classification in better way. So based on all these things, the plants are also categorized, they are divided into different divisions. So in our next videos, next class, we are going to deal about different divisions of plants.